Alright, so I have my CRV rear differential here taken apart. So actually let me put this back together. Well, let me try to explain it the best I can. So here are the stock, basically the stock plates that come in the CRV from factory. And you notice the difference between these two plates is that this one has the gears on the outside, this one has the gears on the inside. Well, this inside gear is connected to this piece of the rear differential. Okay? Alright? So you notice, right, they're connected. And this piece of the rear diff is actually connected to this shaft here, which turns the CV axle. Alright? So all these discs, I think there's 10 of them. All these discs are stacked one on top of the other. This one here, you see how it moves around freely? Well, this one here is actually attached to the basket here, right? So you have this piece, which is attached to this basket down here, which is attached to the drive shaft, right? So you have all these plates together, and when the dual pump locks them all up, that's what sends power from the basket or the drive shaft to the rear differential to the axles. What these new plates do is, if you look at them, they have both the outside gear and the inside gear together, which means that the outside basket, or the basket that's connected to the drive shaft, and this little piece here that connects to this rear differential shaft is locked together always, right? So if I was to put this on and spin it, it will be direct power. That's why you need to run a viscous coupler. Now, as far as the install, so as far as the install of these discs, what I did was, this is the case here. What I did was I removed 8 of these bolts here, okay, lightly tapped, and this came out. All right, and what's also going to come out are the stock discs and the basket cover. All right, so you're going to take all the discs, the stock discs out, and then you are going to remove this collar here. Okay, you're not going to need that. And you're going to remove 3 of these 8mm bolts again, like metric 6 or something, but you know, use an 8mm socket to remove them, the 3 of them. Okay, that's going to take off the dual pump system. Okay, there's a little pin here. Okay, you're going to want to remove that pin. Okay, those are the only 2 things that you're going to remove. Okay, then you're going to reattach. Okay, reattach. Tighten down these bolts. Okay, these are 8mm, so you don't need to go too crazy with them. I was trying to torque these down earlier, but even at 10-15 foot-pounds, they weren't clicking, so better to be safe and just hand tighten them. If you're wondering about this CV axle here, I had a hard time taking it out, so I figured I'd just leave it in there. If you don't want to force anything out, I'm going to use it anyway. Alright, so these two here are pretty tight. Okay, we'll tighten it up for me. Okay, Now we're going to turn our attention to this here, the basket, right? So this basket, as you can see, this basket is attached to this this part right here, which the drive shaft will mount onto. All right, so as I spin the drive shaft, you can see the basket turning as well. Okay. First, we're going to find the disc with the triangle. All right, find the disc with the triangle. Okay, and let's see if I can bring you guys inside. Okay, so find the disc with the triangle, and I don't believe there's a certain orientation that it needs to go in, but okay, so there's. All right, so I went back and looked at the video, and this triangle plate again goes in first. Okay, it has to be the triangle plate. Or the plate with the triangle on there. Okay, then this cylinder goes in. Okay, and then all the other plates will follow. Make sure the plates with the circle matches, or the circle matches the triangle. Okay. Now the reason why the triangle one has to go in first, because it's slightly thinner than the ones with the circle, and that's so that it can sit flush under the C-clip that's on the cylinder here. So remember, triangle first, then the cylinder. Alright, now one more plate. Perfect. And then the top cover here. Okay, there you go. And then I'm gonna install everything back together. So you want to make sure, you know, most of this gasket material is off. If you have a razor blade, it's good to kind of clean it off, right? So let's see if I can find me. There we go. It's a little bit left over. It's not going to kill you. Should be fine. Okay, depends on how OCD you are about it, but honestly, a little bit's not going to kill it. The new RTV that you put on is going to fill in most of these, I guess, these high or low spots left by the old cylinder anyway. This is pretty good. All right. Now I'm going to take some acetone. Now this part is important, alright? Make sure you clean up both surfaces really well with some acetone, brake clean, alcohol. Alright? So both sides are pretty clean enough. Like I said, the sealant's gonna take care of most of the imperfections there. And I'm going to use this Permatex Ultra Block. Normally I would use Honda Bond, but I don't have any, and the dealership is closed, so I'm sure this Permatex would be just fine to use. I've used it before in the past, and it's been okay. Let's see here. All right. And you don't want too much. Alright, you want enough to cover everything, but not too much to the point where it's going to seep out, get into the filter or get into other parts. Now, this rear diff does have a filter. I don't know if it still utilizes it now that the dual pump has been disabled, but just for good practice, I've seen people use way too much RTV on oil pan gaskets, VTEC solenoid gaskets. You're not even supposed to use RTV on the VTEC solenoid, actually. And what it does is it goes and it clogs up the system and starves the engine of oil, and that causes all sorts of problems, mainly oil starvation to the moving parts like the bearings and stuff. So just a nice light coat. Alright, is enough? Okay. And I'm going to attempt to install this, although, let's see here. If I flip it up this way, it's gonna, all the discs are probably going to fall out. So I will have to bring this piece down. Alright. Hopefully this stays in place. Yeah, I'm not happy about all that fluid that came out. No matter how much I drain this guy or let it sit, there's always some fluid somewhere left over. Anyways, okay, turn all of these 8mm bolts. Let's see. Short, long. So you have some long ones and you have some short ones. And you want to make sure that the long ones go back into the correct spot or location, and the short ones go back into their location. And like I said before, you don't need to go too high of a torque on these little 8mm, or else this will happen. Spend about 2 hours of my time trying to extract the rest of that out, which didn't work, and then I just ended up drilling and retapping. So don't do that. That's the one that I drilled and tapped. That's 10mm there. tying everything up, but hopefully this helps everyone. I know that you guys, everyone had kind of had questions regarding these plates and how to install them. But yeah, as you can see, when I turn this here, the CV axle is moving. So now this rear differential is pretty much solid. And I know some people pins their diff, which is fine, right? You drill a hole through all of these discs here, put a pin through it, weld it, whatnot, and it definitely works. But I've heard that these are really hard to drill through, and you also risk warping the basket. And so for $200, you know, I figured save me the trouble of doing all that. And to be honest, if I didn't have that this mishap with this bolt breaking in here, this will be maybe like a 5-10 minute job, right? So just to recap, once you remove it, remove all of the discs, okay? Triangle, the new triangle disc goes in first along with the cylinder, and then the other discs will follow. You need to remove this cylinder, which is in front of the pump, right? And you also need to remove this pin, which is once you remove the pump, the pin is there, okay? So remove these two things and you should be good to go. I believe I've seen one person go 9s, and it was a 9th gen Civic, and it went 9s on this diff here. So they definitely can hold power with the wagon stuff being so hard to find and really expensive now. I think this is a pretty good alternative. There's a ton of Honda elements and CRVs out there that we can steal these from. So I will leave a description or a link in the description below to where you can get these discs. I paid $200 shipped for them. All right, that's it.